After watching this video, you can list the things a full-stack developer must know, and you realize that full-stack development is a complex matter that needs a lot of experience. Finally, I'll share my thoughts on where to start as a beginning developer. Full-stack development is a term that I see often and particularly in two places. One is in job descriptions, and the second are advertisements for full-stack development bootcamps. So what is full-stack development? Modern applications are typically divided into two parts. There is a front end that has all the things you see on the screen and can interact with. They run on clients like browsers and mobile devices. And there is a backend that runs on a server and deals with data and business logic, like order and payment processes. Everything ranging from the client to the server is somewhere in this stack. Developers who can work with all the technology needed in this stack are called full-stack developers. Here you see some languages needed for a typical web application. In the top you see the client languages, in the bottom some possible server languages. The individual parts are learnable skills. You can be taught how to write an HTML page. You can also learn how to style your page with CSS. But the complexity now increases because HTML and CSS need to be glued together. The complexity rises each time you introduce new technology to the project. Perhaps you need a database, but you need something to get the data out of the database, and a web server that responds to requests. The front end and back end need to be coordinated. You want to wrap this up, put it in a package and deploy it on a public server, and suddenly a whole bunch of config needs to be done. And since your code now runs on the internet, how do you make it secure? Once you are dealing with a full stack of technology, the complexity grows exponentially. Something similar like this is explained in the book The Mythical Man Month. In other words, a full stack developer must know a lot of things. So how do you learn all this stuff? If you search online for full-stack development, you will find lots of training bootcamps. You could ask yourself, how realistic is the expectation to become a full-stack developer after going through a bootcamp? The bootcamp might give you a good overview. But the value of a full-stack developer lies in experience. All the individual parts, like programming languages, databases, networking, can be learned relatively fast. But to understand the problems that come with systems, and even more, knowing how to solve these problems, comes from experience. How do you get this experience? You do it just like everything else. You start small. For example, some developers love databases. They focus on that part. Some developers are more interested in the front end and start there. The benefit of the front end is that it is very visible. You see results immediately, which makes it less abstract. There is another way to start small. Create a small hobby project that does have a front end and back end, but keep it simple. This way you still learn about the full stack, but keep it manageable. For example, create a website with your favorite recipes. It will need a front end and a back end, but leaves out order processes, payment processes, and does not need a lot of security and configuration. Whatever you start with, there is one investment you can make where you can't go wrong. Learn programming languages. Frameworks that are used in full-stack development, like Angular, Django, Ruby on Rails, they come and go. Just like many other technologies. A good example is Flash. There was a time where it was unthinkable this technology would ever go away. And I'm not saying you should not invest in frameworks, but if your time and energy is limited, you should focus it on one thing. Invest it in programming languages. Although each language has its unique features, pretty much all do these three things: calculate, loop, and conditional branching. Just pick a language you like and learn how to do these things. And when you switch to a different language, the basic concepts will already be familiar to you. To wrap this video up, I will repeat the key elements from it. First of all, full stack development is complex. Only experience helps you to master that complexity. My advice to any beginner programmer would be to start small. Start a hobby project for this. Another advice I can give you is invest time in learning how to program. Learning one or more programming languages is a good investment of your time. Knowing the key concepts of programming languages, like calculating, looping, and selection, will help you with any other technology in the full stack. Oh, and don't forget to have some fun while learning. Software engineering is a great profession where every day you get to solve nice programming puzzles. Enjoy it while each day your experience grows.